Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on David De Gea. If he's sold this summer, who do you think should replace him at Manchester United? So that's the first topic I'm going to be giving you an update on. Then I'm going to be giving you the latest news on Adrian Rabiot from Juventus. Then I'm going to be giving you some more news on Jadon Sancho. Then going to be giving you the news on Moussa Dembele from Lyon. So there's lots of topics to delve into. So I'm going to reiterate some of the stuff that I did mention on my video that I did recently. This is regarding David De Gea, by the way, because Duncan Castles came out, who tends to be very, very close to Manchester United, and he was speaking to a transfer window podcast, and he said that Manchester United are unhappy with David De Gea's performances, and he also revealed since David De Gea signed that new long-term contract last September, he has been a huge disappointment. But I've got to make an admission, I think, he's been a liability in the last couple of years as David De Gea. Now, these reports are emerging out saying that we could sell David De Gea this summer if the right offer comes in for him. I still think, maybe we could get maybe 50, 60 or maybe even 70 million pounds for David De Gea. But we definitely get a lot more than what we paid for him from Atletico Madrid back in 2011, because we only paid 17 million pounds for him from Atletico Madrid, and we did get David De Gea under the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said to David De Gea has been a long servant at the football club. He's now into his this is his ninth season at Manchester United. And like I mentioned before, I think David De Gea has probably had a good 7 years out of the 9 years or so he has been here. Now, obviously, it confirms from Sky Sports, was it the other week? They said that David De Gea wants to stay at the football club, and he intends to stay at Manchester United for the next 10 years, but I'm very, very sceptical about that. And actually, David De Gea is now approaching his 10th year at the football club. Now, of course, David De Gea has made nearly 400 appearances for Man United in all competitions. He has won everything here domestically, and he's won the club's Player of the Year quite a few times, and he's also won some Matt Busby Player of the Year quite a few times, reflecting on his good run of performances. Now, David De Gea, don't forget, is on £375,000 a week. He's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and he is the highest paid at the football club. Now, obviously, Real Madrid were in for him. Revert back 5 years ago, which was back in 2015. Real Madrid came very, very close to getting him, but due to a fax machine on deadline day, the deal never materialised, so he ended up remaining at Manchester United. Juventus and PSG have also been in for David De Gea before and that. So like I said to you, if David De Gea is sold, who should replace him at Manchester United? Now, obviously, there's some people saying that Dean Henderson should replace David De Gea at the football club. Now, Dean Henderson is on loan at Sheffield United at the moment, and I think he has been a revelation at Sheffield United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But are we going to allow him to stay on loan at Sheffield United? Are we going to loan him back out? Are we going to recall him back up and, possibly make him our number one next season? I don't think Dean Henderson will be our number one next season. There was reports coming out the other week, actually, saying we've not yet made a decision over Dean Henderson's future, because we're facing a dilemma over Dean Henderson. Because reportedly it says if Sheffield United were to qualify for the Champions League and the season resumes, we'd have to pay around £60 million for him. Dean Henderson has got a contract with us until 2022. And Dean Henderson's had a few loan spells, at Grimsby, Stockport and Shrewsbury and that. So there you go. So I think we are seeing Dean Henderson as a long-term replacement for David De Gea. Now, another goalkeeper that could possibly replace De Gea at the football club is Andrea Onana from Ajax. Now, reportedly, he's valued in the £30-odd million range. It did reveal, was it last year, that we had a £35 million bid turned down for him. Edwin van der Sar, who is the CEO of Ajax, he's come out and said, they won't be selling him on any discount. So there you go. So he's been another goalkeeper on our agenda. Also, too, a while back, was in from Jan Blanc from Atletico Madrid and that. So if De Gea leaves the football club, who should replace him? But I don't think he'll leave Manchester United anyway. I can definitely assure that he will be at the football club next season. He will be. But he's been our number one for years, is David De Gea. So there you go. Also, too, we've also got other goalkeepers as well. We've got Sergio Romero. He tends to play in the cup games, does Sergio Romero, doesn't he? Doesn't really, start in the Premier League. We've obviously got Lee Grant, who we recommended him from Stoke back in the summer of 2018. We got him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window, Lee Grant. Lee Grant seldom played since he come in. I think he's out with injury, and I think he is a long-term absentee. I think we also too loaned Joe Pereira out. I think it was to Hearts, if I'm right. So we have, got quite a few goalkeepers. And if we were to get rid of David De Gea, it would help us with our rebuilding process and that, and we'd get quite a bit of money for his departure. But I think he will be at Manchester United next season, but I can assure he won't be here for the next 10 years. David De Gea is 28 or 29 years of age now, I think, in his late 20s. But when David De Gea does eventually leave Manchester United, I think he will make a return back to Spain because, like I said, he began his footballing career in Spain. His relatives is from Spain, his girlfriend, that's from Spain. So, yeah, I think he will definitely make a return back to Spain. But he's still regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So, there you go. Now, let's delve into news on Adrian Rabiot from Juventus. Now, I've been talking with you about him on a regular basis. Now, reportedly, Adrian Rabiot will refuse to return to Juventus after lockdown. So that means, he wants to leave Juventus, does Adrian Rabiot. And according to Gazzetta dello Sport, which is an Italian publication, they've said that Man United and Everton have both expressed their interest in the player. And I think Adrian Rabiot, does want to make a move to the Premier League. Now, this has been his first season in Turin with Juventus, Adrian Rabiot's. Juventus did get him last summer from PSG on a 3 transfer, and Adrian Rabiot signed a 4-year contract, so he's under contract with Juventus until 2023. I think he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. Adrian Rabiot, I haven't really watched him at Juventus, but he has spent the vast majority of his career with PSG. He made his senior debut for them in 2012. And obviously, he was at PSG for several years and he won a total of 18 major honours with them. So that's how impressive he was. I think when he was in the youth setup, I think he also played for Manchester City and he is in his mid-20s. And it does mention that we've scouted him on numerous occasions this season, Adrian Rabiot, when he has been playing for Juventus. Reportedly, is available in the 20-odd million pound range, so maybe could cost around £26 million. So, yeah, so that's the latest news on Adrian Rabiot. But Juventus, are known, for getting players in on free transfers in recent years. They didn't only do it with Rabiot, they did it with Amon Ramsey. They also did it with Emre Can from Liverpool. So, there you go with that. So there you go. So that's the latest news on Adrian Rabiot. Now let's give you the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So recent reports have come out and mentioned that Jadon Sancho could reject a move to Manchester United and join Chelsea. Now the main explanation for this is because of pinpointed statistics behind Frank Lampard's trust in Chelsea's youth and stuff like that. So reflecting on Chelsea's youth and that, this could be why Jadon Sancho could go to Chelsea instead of Manchester United. And don't forget, it came out last week from the mainstream media, and it said, Jadon Sancho would prefer a transfer back home to London because Jadon Sancho began his footballing career in London with Watford, because he was at Watford for several years, was Jadon Sancho. Now, obviously, don't forget, it also came out last week saying that we're planning to sign Jadon Sancho next summer instead of this summer. And actually, Borussia Dortmund have confirmed so many times that they're not willing to stand in Jadon Sancho's way if he does want to leave. But they expect Jadon Sancho to stay in the summer. And that was stemming from Sky Sports last week. And Sky Sports is a very, very reliable source. But reportedly, a source close to him said that Jadon Sancho is still likely to leave Borussia Dortmund, even though Borussia Dortmund do expect him to stay. Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. They have said they want at least £100 million for the player. Some reports have said it could cost up to £120 million. But as you all know, we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. I think it mentioned the other week, like it updated you, we're only willing to pay in the £80 million range for Sancho. But even, due to this coronavirus pandemic, Dortmund are not lowering their asking price for Sancho. Now, like I said, we've been relentlessly linked to him. We was relentlessly linked to him last year. I think we also went in for Sancho back in 2017. This was before he went to Borussia Dortmund. But, obviously, we didn't get him. And obviously, Borussia Dortmund paid around £7 or was it £8 million in from Man City back in 2017. And obviously, if Dortmund do sell Sancho, they will make a huge profit on the player. The main explanation why Sancho had to leave Manchester City is because, he didn't get assured any first-team opportunities. And now Sancho's into his third season as a Borussia Dortmund player. He has still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. It also mentions as well that Dortmund are interested in Charlie Webster, who is a 16-year-old who currently plays for Chelsea, so he is one of their young'uns in that. Like Fabrizio Romano broke out a while back, he said, that we've been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for quite some time, and we've also been working on his contract. It did say as well we're willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7 because we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. And like I said, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but our recent number 7s, haven't been too good. Depay was very, very inconsistent. Under Louis van Gaal era, Sanchez was also very, very inconsistent. By the way, if Sancho is sold, City, do benefit from it because they do get around 15% of the transfer fee. But I did outline a few of the reasons why it would be beneficial for us to recommend him in is because, he's got a really, really good friendship with Rashford. And Marcus Rashford did reveal that he wants Jadon Sancho at Man United next season. And plus, he's well proven in the Premier League, is Jadon Sancho and that. So, he has been subjected to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. Borussia Dortmund, have lost quite a few of their players in recent years to Premier League clubs. Like I said, they lost Ukwan Gundogan, they lost Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, Pulisic, Shinji Kagawa, so they have lost quite a few. But he said back in February, Sancho, that he wanted to leave Dortmund, but obviously, Dortmund are looking for an adequate replacement for him, and he's only at the age of 20 in that. And it did say a while back, if, we was to fail to get Champions League football, that Jadon Sancho would reject a move to Manchester United anyway. And that. So, yeah, if he does leave Dortmund, he actually, could join Chelsea, could the player. So, there you go. Now let's delve into news on Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Let's delve into news on him. So, according to recent reports, again, going to reiterate some of the stuff I mentioned regarding Moussa Dembele the other week. But according to recent reports, the Lyon president has come out and made an admission saying they may have to decide to sell Moussa Dembele in the summer. Reportedly would cost in the £60 million range. Now it says, my club Man United are in for him. Also to Chelsea have expressed their interest in Moussa Dembele. But it did come out the other week saying that Moussa Dembele, would find it hard to reject a move to Manchester United this summer. Now, Moussa Dembele is into his second season with Lyon. I think he scored around 40-odd goals in 80-odd appearances for them. He has got a contract with Lyon until 2023. So still got around a few years left on his contract. Lyon did pay around £20 million in from Celtic back in the summer of 2018. Also enjoyed quite a few good years with Celtic, did Moussa Dembele. I think he scored around 51 goals in 94 appearances for Celtic. Before he was at Celtic, he was at Fulham. He began his senior career with Fulham. I think he was in their senior squad a good 3 years. That's a beneficial thing about us recommending Moussa Dembele, and is that he has played in the Premier League before, and he is a prolific goal scorer, and he is in his early 20s, is Moussa Dembele. So Man United and Chelsea are in for him because we are in search for a striker. So that is the news on that. You saw my video that I did yesterday night. I give you the news on Odion Ighalo. Manchester United now are facing a dilemma with Odion Ighalo, because Shanghai Shenhua have said that they expect him to return in time for the start of the Chinese Super League season, which I think starts in July. Reportedly, for us to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer, we will have to pay around £20 million. I don't know, if we are going to pay £20 million to get him on a permanent transfer and that. Obviously, we have got him on loan at the moment. We paid around £4 million to get Odion Ighalo on loan, and we are paying like a third of his wages. I think his wages at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week, and his current loan spell at the football club does expire at the end of this month. And Odion Ighalo has already revealed that he wants his loan extended at the football club. But I've got to say, Ighalo has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club. And then, to be fair, he has been a very, very good cover up for Marcus Rashford, because as you all know, Marcus Rashford has been out with a back injury since January. So we're going to pay the £20 million to get Ighalo on a permanent transfer. It did actually, say before, it had only cost us £15 million to get him on a permanent transfer. Gary Neville, don't forget, has given his verdict on it, and he's actually, advised Solskjaer to go against the purchase of Ighalo, because he doubts, that he's worth £20 million. So Ighalo, could actually, go back to Shanghai Shenhua. It also, mentions that Newcastle are interested in signing him if the Saudi Arabians do take over their football club. But obviously, before Ighalo came to Man United, he'd played before in the Premier League, because don't forget, he did endure 3 years with Watford, did the player. So I don't know what's going to be happening with Odion Ighalo, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So the question is, which striker are Manchester United going to sign? Like I mentioned yesterday, which striker are we going to sign? And there has been a hell of a lot of strikers on our agenda, because we are looking for an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku, because we did let Lukaku go last summer to Inter Milan for £72 million. So we did actually recoup the vast majority of the £75 million that were paid for him from Everton back in 2017 and that. But it's a shame that we didn't get that replacement for Lukaku last summer. You got the news regarding Lukaku yesterday, didn't you? Because Ivan Cordoba, who is a former Inter Milan player, he came out and said that Solskjaer had made a mistake by selling Romelu Lukaku to Inter Milan last summer, and accused us of not understanding his potential, because Lukaku's done very, very well at Inter Milan. Lukaku, by the way, did endure 2 years at Manchester United and scored 42 goals in 96 games for the club in all competitions. So there you go. But so there has been a hell of a lot of players on our agenda, and like I mentioned yesterday, Solskjaer and Manchester United are preparing for a busy summer transfer window. Even though Solskjaer recently did come out and say we will enter a much changed transfer market, like he mentioned. Obviously, it did come out quite a few weeks ago, did Solskjaer, before Ed Woodward had come out with a statement saying we may not do business as usual in summer. He said we will exploit the transfer market in that. And don't forget, Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. But I do believe anyway, a lot of teams are going to have, well, they're going to enjoy unprecedented summer transfer windows due to the financial issues with the coronavirus pandemic. We're planning on making around 3 or 4 signings in the summer, but I don't see it happening. I think, maybe we could make 1 or maybe 2 signings in the summer transfer market. And Solskjaer's obviously already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. He wants to recommend a centre forward in, wants to recommend a right winger in, and he also wants to recommend a midfielder in. There's also some reports as well saying that he wants to still recommend a centre half in to the football club and that. But there you go. But like I said, Solskjaer does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows at Manchester United. Obviously, so far Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club, and he has spent £220 million on 5 players. Last summer brought Daniel James, Bissaka and Harry Maguire in, and in January he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagalo in. So I've got to credit him, for the players that he has recommended in to the football club so far. And Solskjaer has been here now for around 17 months, nearly 17 months, so he has been at the football club over a year. But I can definitely assure he will be Manchester United manager next season, because, I think the football season is going to resume anyway, which is very, very good news. Obviously, we can win the FA Cup because we're into the quarterfinals. We can win the Europa League, we're into the last 8. So, there's a chance for, getting some silverware on the board under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we have lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years. We've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson's retirement, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under the Jose Mourinho era. But like I said to we have been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years or so. We haven't dominated football, since the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said to Alex Ferguson endured 26 years at Manchester United, and obviously, brought success to the football club. Didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, but then he won a total of 38 major honours at Manchester United, did Alex Ferguson. Obviously, Ferguson retired in 2013. And then since then it has gone downhill because, we've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since the Alex Ferguson era. Of course, we sacked Moyes after he endured 8 and 9 months with the club. We sacked Van Gaal, he endured 2 years at the club. And we sacked Jose Mourinho, he endured 2.5 years at the football club. And we spent close to the £1 billion range on players in the last 6 or 7 years. And, we recruited over 30 odd players in. Moyes brought Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Louis Van Gaal brought players like Memphis Depay in. Rojo, Darmian, Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Falcao, Blind and all that, Depay. Van Gaal brought a hell of a lot of players in. But the vast majority of the players that Van Gaal brought in are no longer here. But he did get rid of a lot of the players that we had under the Alex Ferguson era, did Van Gaal. Mourinho, he recommended 11 players in. There's still the vast majority of his team is Jose Mourinho's. There's only a few that have left that, Jose Mourinho recommended in to the football club and that. So, there you go. So, in reality, reflecting on the amount of players we've brought in and the money we've spent on them, we should be in Liverpool's position, but we're not. We're currently sitting 5th in the Premier League at the moment. We are sitting 3 points behind Chelsea. Very, very convinced we can get qualification for the Champions League for next season. Really, really convinced about that. But, like I said to you, Solskjaer, another thing I've got to credit him for, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. We've let some players go on permanent transfers, and we've also loaned some players out. So that's good. And obviously, Solskjaer's planning on getting rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer transfer market. I've already gone through with you, I think the players that we're going to get rid of. I think we're definitely going to get rid of Chris Smalling on a permanent transfer. We're going to get rid of Rojo on a permanent transfer. We're definitely going to get rid of Phil Jones because he doesn't even get in the team now. Phil Jones is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. So he's been here since the Alex Ferguson era. But we need to get rid of him. I think we'll get rid of Lingard. We'll also get rid of Andres Pereira because they're being very, very inconsistent as well. Sanchez, will probably loan Alexis Sanchez back out because we won't be able to get rid of Sanchez permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages. So we won't be able to get rid of Sanchez permanently in that. So, yeah. So we are definitely not going to get rid of more players. Like I said, I've got to credit Solskjaer because he has promoted the youth very, very well. The young players have been given their chances this season. I think also too, his approach to the big games has been good, and we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions and that. I don't know if Solskjaer has a foreseeable future for Man United. Time will tell. Can we get our 21st title under Solskjaer? Like I said, Solskjaer, was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance and that. He really, really did. So he's got that proven pedigree as a player. And he has obviously won Premier Leagues as a player, but, can he win it as a manager? He is inexperienced as a manager. That's one of my reservations about him, but the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to be gaining more managerial experience, because Man United is the third club he's managing in his managerial career. Before he was at Man United, he was at Mould, won a couple of Norwegian titles with them. Before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. Enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff, did Solskjaer. I think he only managed around 29 games. He got sacked from Cardiff because obviously, he got Cardiff relegated and that. And I'm surprised, Solskjaer's still Manchester United manager, reflecting on how bad we've been for the vast majority of this season. But I think it's because he's a club legend. I think if it had been any other manager, they probably, would have been sacked by now. But like I said, we've enjoyed some good results under Solskjaer, but there again, we've enjoyed a hell of a lot of bad results in that. But like I said, there's still things Solskjaer needs to work on. He needs to work out his best formation, because he's been changing formation persistently this season. Maybe does he need to make a tactical change, because if you've watched Man United a lot this season, we have been playing a lot on the counter attack. But I've definitely got to say the signing of Bruno Fernandes has saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United, because Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career and that. Obviously, you know the news on Paul Pogba already, don't you? I think he's staying at Manchester United next season, is Paul Pogba. I really, really do. I don't know about the foreseeable future, but I think he will be here next season, because Solskjaer is excited about the prospects of playing Paul Pogba alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, because they've not had the chance yet, to play together in our midfield. And I haven't really had a perception on Paul Pogba this season, because his appearances have been limited due to his injuries. He's only played 8 times for the football club this season. Paul Pogba has revealed his plans ahead of his return, and don't forget he aims to be the best player in the world. I think he did have the surgery on his ankle back in January, did Paul Pogba and that. But yeah, there's still talk saying that he could go to Juventus, because, Juventus are willing to offer up to 3 of their players in a swap deal for Pogba. Obviously, Paul Pogba is a former Juventus player, and he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. The players that have been mentioned is Douglas Costa, Ramsey's been spoken about, Janik. I think Rabiot as well, he's also been mentioned as well. But there you go. Real Madrid were in for him, but they're no longer in for him now due to his substantial wages at Manchester United. PSG were in for him as well the other week. But yeah, I think, Paul Pogba's staying at Manchester United. I think he's got a year left on his contract, though the club have the option to extend his contract by a further year. But he did say if we did sell Paul Pogba this summer, we could only get 60 or 70 million pounds for him. So we could actually get less than what he's actually worth. Because we said if we wanted to sell Pogba in the summer, we'd want at least £100 million for the player. We did pay £89 million for him from Juventus, so he is our most expensive signing is the player. He did confirm recently as well that Ed Woodward had lowered his asking price from 150 to £100 million. So there you go. But Pogba said earlier on this year he wanted to leave Man United. He said last summer as well, Pogba, that he wanted to leave the football club and that. But yeah, I think he's staying at Manchester United, is Pogba. But let's see how they get on, together in our midfield, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. So yeah, and that's mainly everything to update you with. And don't forget, another one of our priority targets is Jack Grealish. And, if Villa get relegated, he's 100% going to leave Aston Villa. We're hopeful of getting Jack Grealish for around £50 million and that. And don't forget, we've got around 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. That's something else, we do need to sort out. So there you go. So like I said to you yesterday as well, we've got a fully fit squad for when the season resumes. So Rashford will be back and Paul Pogba and that will be back, which is very, very good news. The Premier League have got controversial plans, like I mentioned yesterday. There's been talks of, games playing for 80 minutes and 5 substitutions and games played at neutral stadiums. Probably games will be played at neutral stadiums, to be fair. That may be only the way of finishing the season. Obviously, games are going to be played behind closed doors due to public health reasons. There's been rumours saying games will be played behind closed doors until next year and that. The football season's been suspended for a good, 8 weeks or something now. It has been suspended since the 13th of March. There's talks about, I think the season's going to be resuming sometime next month. I heard that they're hopeful that it can be finished by the end of July. So European games can be played in August. So there you go and that. But so there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.